In Lesson 3.3, you learned how to pause your application at certain points in order to inspect the current state of controls and values. However, by using that technique, you can only inspect the values of objects that your code directly refers to. Using the Watch and Locals windows, you can inspect any values that are available, regardless of whether or not your code makes reference to them. First, open the C# test sample file from your sample files folder. And open default.aspx.cs, which is the code behind file of default.aspx. Start debugging and click on a date in the calendar. The breakpoint you added in Lesson 3.3 should pause the code inside the Calendar Select Selection Changed event handler. You're now going to view some properties using the Locals window. If the Locals window isn't visible, click the Locals button at the bottom left of the screen. Locals contains all of the properties that are currently available to your code in a tree structure. It's not always the easiest way to find what you're looking for, but it always contains everything. Expand the This item by clicking the plus sign icon next to it. The This object is the object that contains your code. In this case, this is your ASPX page. Next, expand Label Output in the Locals window. You can see the properties of the Label Output control displayed. Note that these are only the properties that have a value. You could view a complete list of the controls properties by then expanding Base. Return to the web browser by clicking Debug Continue, or by clicking the Play button on the toolbar. You're now going to view some properties using the Watch window. The Watch window is very similar to the Locals window, but you can choose the values you want to appear in it. It's usually a much more convenient way of inspecting values in your application. Click on another date in the calendar, and your code pauses at the breakpoint once again. Display the Watch window now by clicking the Watch button at the bottom left of the screen. Next, select LabelOutput.txt by clicking and dragging your mouse cursor over it. Now right-click on the highlighted text and click Add Watch. LabelOutput.txt and its current value appear in the Watch window. Now use Step Over to step to the next line. As you can see, the value has been updated in the Watch window. The Watch window is very useful for keeping an eye on the current values of important properties. You'll be using the Watch window more in the coming lessons. Stop debugging now, and close Visual Studio. You've now completed Lesson 3.4, Use Watches and Locals.